So, my first tip for what to do after a divorce is just to give yourself some grace, right? I found after my divorce that it took me a really long time, I would say almost 2 years, to really feel like myself again. My situation was a very shitty marriage with some abuse. And I think it took me probably 2 years to really feel like I was myself again. So give yourself some grace. If you are in an abusive situation and you've been unhappy for a long time, you're probably going to need some counseling. So give yourself some space to get that work done so that you can move on with a better life that makes you happy. Another tip for after you have gone through a divorce is, you know, decide what you want in a new romantic partner, right? I know I did that. I had a list of definite, non negotiable, if this is, deal breakers. So, if, for example, they were a smoker, you're out. So, really define what you're looking for in your next partner. And it may not be that you're ready to date. It could be a really long time before you're like, yeah, I'm ready to get back out there. But it's a good idea to know what you are and you aren't looking for in a new partner before you begin dating, so that you can potentially avoid another relationship down the road that just doesn't meet your needs. A third tip for things that you need to consider after a divorce, and I would say even before you're finished with your divorce, is do you want to make any career changes? A lot of people look at a divorce as a negative thing, and in some respects it is. But I prefer to look at it as a new beginning. Everyone makes compromises during a relationship for the benefit of the relationship. We just do. Um, but maybe you didn't pursue a career that you were really interested in because, your spouse wasn't on board for that or wasn't able to support you to go back to school. Now that you're divorced, you get to make those decisions for yourself. So, do you want to make a career change? It's never too late to change careers. I went back to school um, in my late 30s, early 40s, so you can go back too. If there's something that you've always wanted to pursue, then go out there and pursue it. There's nothing stopping you. And now the only people that you have to consider are yourself and what's best for the kids, right? And I would submit to you that having a healthy, happy, well adjusted parent is for their benefit. So by all means, go pursue new things. After a divorce or a original custody case has been completed, there's going to be in a period of adjustment where you learn how to co-parent with the other party, and you also learn how to be a single parent, right? So, there used to be someone there that you could rely on to pick up slack when you needed it. Um, that person may be less willing to come back and do those things now that we have a final order in place, and maybe they're a little bit salty about some of the agreements or orders that were given as to the kids. So now you don't have that person to rely on. You're going to need to build a network of other support systems. Do you have grandma support? If you have to travel for work and the other parent won't cooperate with you, then you may need grandma support to come into town. So start talking to those people now and building that network of redundancies to help you in those parenting situations when you need the help. Another thing that most people don't think about after the divorce has been finalized is the need for a new will. People don't like thinking about their own deaths, but this is for the benefit of the kids. And so, if you had a will before the divorce, that will needs to be updated now that you're divorced. And, maybe the other parent is a great parent in many respects, but they're not great with money. Guess who the de facto trustee for your children is if you die? right? So maybe you need a will so that you can set up, who would be the person to manage the inheritance that they receive from you after the divorce. So it's time to go talk to an estate planning attorney about getting a will in place after the divorce is finished. If you have questions about, establishing your life after the divorce is finished, we'd love to talk to you. Give us a call.